All right, everybody. Welcome to the Whiskey Gingers podcast. I'm Brandon, as always. You've met my co-host, but he's never been a star of the show the way he has today. But we have the one and only Damn It Jeff here in the flesh. This was supposed to be an everybody together kind of pod like we did on the cruise. Unfortunately, Chris came down with the stomach bug. Not sure if it was whiskey related or not. We might hear from him later to shed some light on that. But for the time being, I'm going to assume that it was. But the reason that until he corrects me otherwise,
it probably was.
We're taking the political approach to this and just throwing out accusations and hoping for the best. But kind of the reason that we wanted to do all this was Jeff actually texted Chris and I had a whiskey that he wanted us to try. Well, actually, not necessarily a whiskey. So I'm going to let you kind of take this one. This is pretty much your baby.
Yeah, no, I've been looking at different Irish whiskeys. Honestly, it's about a year since I was in Ireland last, so I thought it was only fitting to take a step back from some of the bourbons, which I love, to try a different Irish whiskey. I wanted to go with the Jameson Black Barrel. I typically don't see Powers bottles in stores by me for whatever reason, selections here or there. There was two left, either the green rye whiskey or their normal red label one. So I said, screw it, it's on sale, let's go for it. So that's pretty much where it stemmed from. I've never had it. I've only had their red, which is, I guess, their like standard just Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
I know they have a blue label and also like a silver label. I'll look into that too in a little bit and kind of see. I would just imagine one might be aged longer than the other. But this one's a rye Irish whiskey, so.
And neither one of us have had a rye Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
Chris has. So this actually makes it kind of fun. Not that we would love to have him here, but nobody here knows kind of what we're going into with this.
Yeah.
Now, typically, if you watch the show enough, and about 11 of you do, so thanks. But Chris is typically my bottle opener. But I'm going to try and do him proud and get this opened up this time. It's not ripping. Chris, we need you, buddy.
While you're doing that, have you ever had any Powers whiskey?
I've never bought a bottle. I've had probably their the red Irish whiskey when I was over there, because I noticed the same thing that I naturally thought, because Jameson's so big here, that it would be kind of everything there, and that wasn't really the case. I saw Powers a lot, and another one I don't know if you ran into was Teeling, T-E-E-L. Yeah.
That and Bushmills.
I love a good.
They were like the big four. Yeah, Bushmills is great too.
Yeah, Bush. Yeah, so I had it then just because it seemed like more of a local drink than Jameson.
Okay. Yeah. You drink Jameson a ton in the States too, so I was trying to go a little different.
Yeah.
We went to Northern Ireland in one of the days on the trip, and we drove through the Bushmills distillery.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't stop because we're on a bus tour, but we drove by it.
Okay.
If I could go back, that's definitely where I would have stopped.
Yeah, do Bush. Yeah, me too. Because everybody does Jameson. It'd be cool to do one of the other ones. I would want to do Teeling because I think it's in Dublin. It's pretty easy to get to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's convenient.
It just never quite worked out that way.
Bushmills is the middle of nowhere. Dude, it's crazy. It takes you got a bus there. It's 4 hours. It's probably like 6 hours from Dublin. It was far.
I feel like that's where it should come from, though.
Oh yeah,
that's where I want my Irish whiskey to come from.
Cool.
The middle of nowhere. Yeah. Morgan, our typical silent producer, who also isn't here today, brought up a good point. We're replacing a whiskey neat guy with a whiskey neat guy, so the dynamic remains the same, where you'll get an on the rocks perspective and a neat perspective on every whiskey. So that worked out pretty well, and Jeff is, obviously watches the show, so that bottles are in part at least judged on how good the bottle pop is, the cork pop is. Yeah. So we'll see how Powers stacks up that way. Not bad. It also didn't get a real fair shake because I don't have the my pro here to do it, but so maybe we'll revisit Powers once the 18's back. But in the meantime, there you are.
Thank you.
We will see what we got here. Right off the bat, it smells far more rye than Irish whiskey. But
okay, I should ask you that too. Do you like rye whiskeys?
No,
you don't.
Not typically. No, I'm not. I like a few ryes. It's definitely not the majority, and the other one I cannot stand Scotch. I've never found the Scotch that I like. They're probably my bottom two as far as like whiskey adjacent liquors go.
I typically don't like either. Also, I don't mind Scotch more. I feel like I've been drinking more Scotch. My dad's a big Scotch drinker, so he always has it around. So
Okay.
they tend to disappear when I go over a couple of those bottles. So I will say I'm enjoying it more. Ryes too. He always will have a rye bottle popping up here and there. I typically stay away from them. I don't know what it is about it, but I've been trying to get into them more. I want to give them a fair shake and at least try different ones. I feel like I need to have more rye whiskeys.
Oh.
I say I don't like it.
No time like the present.
All right, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Huh. That doesn't taste at all like I expected it to.
No, tastes like Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the smell did not give me that thought at all. I thought it was gonna be like, man. In my head, I was already mentally preparing. I'm like, this is gonna burn. It's gonna be a little bit, it's a little tart. Like, it doesn't taste much. It doesn't taste like any other rye I've had. Like, I actually do like it quite a lot.
I actually like it too. I didn't know what to expect.
Me either. I thought it was gonna burn. I thought it was gonna be, a little bit stronger. I didn't even look at the what the content is
I
on
didn't
here.
look at it either. It might be on the back.
Distilled and matured at Middleton Distillery, Middleton, Cork,
I've
Ireland.
been there.
Non-chill, full filtered. And the alcohol oh, here it is. Wait, no, it's not. Here it is. Nope, never mind. The alcohol content is, I couldn't begin to tell you.
That's hilarious. It doesn't even say.
Yeah.
When I glanced at it earlier, I didn't see it.
You just go till you've had enough.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought they were legally required to list that somewhere.
Not in Ireland, apparently.
Apparently not. Oh, here it is. 86 proof. So not as strong as I would have thought it would be. That's way too hard to find, by the way.
That makes sense, though, for the taste, right? I didn't think it feels like a higher proof at all.
No, it's nice. It's light, borderline refreshing.
Yeah, it's really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the red one, too, so the green is cool.
One of the things you've been realizing is you can tell a lot about the color. I mean, look, I realize we're learning elementary lessons here a year and a half in, but you can learn a lot about the color, and this is a very light whiskey,
Yeah, it is.
which most of our Irish ones have tended to be. I tend to like them that way. I mean, there's a couple that have been dark that we've loved. I mean, Blanton's was a little bit on the darker side, which was awesome. Eagle Rare, a little bit dark, which was great.
I like the oak dark.
You like them darker?
Yeah. I mean,
well, you're a bourbon guy, too.
I am. And I will say, I'm drinking more Irish whiskey than I have ever.
Mhm.
So I have been enjoying it, but it's a little light for me, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I do like bourbon. Maybe it's just kind of what I first was introduced to. That's why I like it. So it's kind of the standard for me. What don't you like about Scotch?
So look, as much as I love whiskey, I'm not a burn guy. Like I've been drinking it pretty much regularly now for like 4 or 5 years, and that part's never gone away. Like I've never, you meet people where it's like, they'll drink these really high ABV whiskeys, and they're almost like impressed by the burn. Like, I'm not a whiskey connoisseur. Like I just get a bunch of these bottles for fun, but I'll business meetings or people that have, a little bit of cash and some nice bottles. And like, oh, you got to try this one. And it'll be like, you got to try this like aged Scotch or this great rye I found. And to a T, I was like you'll see it in my face. I wear it.
That's fair.
I didn't used to like bourbons. I've come around to bourbons, but that's still the line. Like that's as as smoky and as much of a burn as I'll go.
I will say I have seen Chris's videos, and I've seen a lot of negative reviews on bourbon. So I guess you guys still don't love all bourbons.
Not all. If you look at over time, we've gotten a lot more bourbon friendly.
Okay.
Probably within like that first year, we couldn't really find a bourbon we liked.
Oh, interesting. Maybe there's some videos I'm thinking about then.
Recently, because there's only so many Irish whiskeys in the States, it's way easier to find kind of unique bourbons. Recently, we've been on a tear of liking bourbon way more than we thought. Still not quite Irish whiskey levels, but like I'm pretty sure Basil Hayden's a bourbon.
Yeah.
Eagle Rare's a bourbon. Blanton's pretty sure is like. I mean, there's been some bourbons we've liked a lot, but it definitely didn't start off that way. You're right.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So you bought this one, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. Yeah.
If I had to guess, I'm gonna put this somewhere around like $40.
No, it was actually under that. It was closer to 35.
Okay.
I got it on sale too for $30.
Okay.
I honestly I didn't care about the sale as much as finding the bottle.
Mm.
I always like to have a bottle of Jameson, Powers, whatever you can find.
Yeah.
And I always go Jameson. Like I said, I wanted to go with the Black Barrel Jameson because when we were in Ireland at the Middleton Distillery, same place where Powers is actually distilled, my brothers got it. So they brought a bottle home of the Distillery Edition Jameson and the Black Barrel. And by the time I got to their place to enjoy it, it was gone.
This one was gone.
No.
The Black Barrel was
Jameson.
gone. Yeah.
I'm bringing that one over. Maybe we'll jump to like a bourbon or a scotch or something different in the next couple. But
Okay.
to be continued because I definitely want to try that one as well because I've heard excellent things.
Yeah, I've never had the Black Barrel. I've had the Distillery Edition. I still have it in my cabinet.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. But
when we were in Ireland, we were on one of the bus tours going to the Cliffs of Moher, and we had this really hilarious, like hardened Irishman.
Oh, nice.
Barely spoke English. Was teaching his kids Gaelic. Like he was that committed.
Okay.
I'm convinced he's like the last person in Ireland trying to teach Gaelic.
Yeah, he's hanging on to the good old days.
But he was hilarious. He said two things that stuck with me. One, his favorite bottle of Jameson, affordable bottle, I guess. Like I said, it's not top shelf. He loved the Black Barrel.
Okay, good
And he
to know.
also said the worst pint of Guinness he had was at the Guinness Storehouse, which probably checks out.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's just something as an American, there's something so magical about it, but it's probably not the best.
Yeah.
Since we were both there around the same time. I think you went a month after me, or
a
couple weeks after me?
Yeah, it was like 3.5 weeks ish
what?
last year.
What was, if you remember the place? What was your favorite Guinness when you were over there?
Oh, dude, that's a hard question. My favorite Guinness. That's a great question. I'll tell you probably like my favorite environment when drinking Guinness over there.
Okay, that counts
two
too.
Two places come to mind. The first one is like we were there. We flew a red eye, so we get there. We're exhausted. We go straight to the storehouse. So we get there, and it's like, okay, we've been up for 36 hours. Let's go drink as much Guinness as you can count. That probably wasn't my favorite, although the experience was of finally being in Europe for the first time and being in Ireland. It was cool to experience it. My favorite like place that we went to have like, I don't know, just a nice Irish lunch was Giant's Causeway,
Okay.
Northern Ireland. It's a small little like restaurant that was off to the side of it. What was really cool was they had like really authentic Irish food up there.
Okay.
And it was like a small, like I don't want to say like cafe. You were on the coast, so it was almost like a beach town.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we had really cool drinks there. We had a really cool lunch, authentic Irish lunch. Had to pay in pounds because it's technically Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
That was cool. I enjoyed sitting there at lunch. I think I got like a fish stew. It was unbelievable. Being right next to the ocean was cool.
That's a part of Ireland I don't think gets enough love, especially from like, you know, tourists and being in the US. I mean, like I love Dublin. It's one of my favorite places. But I never like being in Dublin, I didn't feel like I was in Ireland as much as I did other places.
Yeah.
Like we stayed in a really cool shore town called Bray, which is about
cool.
50-minute train ride up from Dublin. And probably my favorite Guinness was at what was it? There's a place called the Harbor Bar. Yeah, the Harbor Bar. It's, you know, one of the original bars in Ireland. They have all these pictures of like different artists and people that have went there. And to your point, it had a way more local feel than any of the Dublin places did. Like my dad and I walked in, there was no tables. These two dudes,
awesome.
And we went on the weekday, so it was like Thursday night. Two guys, jeans, spack on their shirts, clearly just got off shift. We're like, you're drinking with us. They popped over, and we just got hammered with these two.
That's awesome.
But like, it was just so like they made us feel like we were locals. And the Guinness might have been great. It might have been fine. It might have been somewhere in between. But like that, I enjoyed that Guinness more than any other Guinness on the trip, I think.
Yeah. No, that's awesome because it's more than just a beer. I guess,
It is,
right?
Yeah.
That's what you look for.
And that's like, I think that's the part that they have mastered so well is that, you know, Americans, like, I mean, Chris and I talk about it sometime, like, you know, we swear like, oh, dude, we can outdrink anybody, whatever. Man, we can drink, don't get me wrong, as a country, we can put them back. But I mean, when you leave our shores, Ireland puts us to shame.
Yeah.
I think Germany could drink us under the table. Like, I mean, there's a lot of other countries that can drink more than us,
That's
but
nice, so
the part that I think Ireland mastered better than anybody, maybe England, but I don't like to give the Redcoats any credit ever.
Yep.
Ireland mastered pub culture.
I was just gonna say the same thing. You go into any pub, and I'm sure the UK is like that too in some regard. I had a buddy who just went 3 months ago, and they just got a car and just drove around all over the place. It looked very similar to Ireland, but the pub culture there in Ireland is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's because it's just the hang.
Yep.
Like there's not, you go to bars, we both kind of live in like the tri-state area. So like you go to these bars and it's DJs, dancing, dance floor, $15 beers, shoulder to shoulder. Like there's all these other things to make up for whatever like the bar itself lacks.
Yeah.
It's for them, it's just the hang. There might be at most live music, but they're playing local songs. They're not playing top 40. Like
That's fair.
it's just focused on having beers with the fellas or with the girls or whatever, and just whatever entertainment you create for yourself is enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's so much cooler than screaming over a DJ or getting bumped into by 100 people or anything like that.
Last story I'll tell for it.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about the flavors you're tasting in this, but
Okay.
one of my favorite, and it came to me just a second ago when you talked about the guys wearing the spackle when you were at that local bar. We went into this one bar. It was late. It was probably like 12:30, maybe like our second or third day there. We're like, all right, let's get off the main street in Dublin. We went off a couple blocks. This hole in the wall. The bar probably wasn't any bigger than this room here.
Yeah.
These two Irish guys sitting there singing old Irish folk tale songs, or whatever you call them, I guess. This really heavy.
My immediate thought is the other guys.
Yeah.
When Will Ferrell's singing the sad songs.
Dude, it was unbelievable. It was this really skinny, small Irish guy. And then the other guy on the guitar
It's delicious.
was huge. He was this really big Irish guy. So the guy who was smaller was singing.
Okay.
And dude, I'm telling you, it was just like unbelievable. When you throw on an Irish song and it's just going in the background, like on St. Patty's Day, that's kind of what it felt like walking in there.
Yeah.
But we were the only tourists. So we walked in and then it's like record scratch.
Yeah.
And they were not.
Oh, no.
Shit. It didn't seem like it. They were kind of finishing up their set and stuff. But it seemed like it was more of a local establishment.
Have you seen Animal House?
Yes.
Can we dance with your dates? Like it feels like when they go into like the that urban club, and it's like
That's pretty much what it was. I mean,
Yeah.
it felt like a little out of place.
yeah,
They may have made a comment or two about being American, but because everyone else in Dublin was awesome, but that was like our only negative encounter. Northern Ireland, different story. They were not the friendliest people, but
no, they're notably not keen on outsiders.
yeah, that was
They didn't put that checkpoint there for fun.
right.
Dude, I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
Isn't it good?
I could sit here and get hammered on this.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Like
we're on our way there. It's like
I'm just sipping unironically.
yeah.
Like I don't know what it is. It's refreshing. Like
I
it's
haven't
just
had
awesome.
Powers in forever too. Like I said, I saw it and I'm like, I'm going for it. And it was a decision between the rye or the normal one, normal Irish whiskey. I'm like, why don't we change it up? I've never had a rye Irish whiskey. I don't even know if I can tell the difference because it
doesn't
so
taste like a
light.
rye.
Like you have a rye bourbon or rye whiskey, or I guess
Yeah, you can
I
tell.
can tell.
I'm buying this probably this week.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's a good bottle. Good to add to the repertoire.
Because I owe one of my buddies. He's a Knicks fan, and
Ah,
during Sixers Knicks, we put a bet on the series, and loser buys the winner whiskey of their choice under $40, and he won. Knicks won, whatever.
Barely.
Yeah, doesn't count. But he was like, just get me a bottle of Jack Daniels or whatever. And I'm like, I do a whiskey podcast. I can't. It's not in me to just get you a bottle of Jack
We
Daniels.
gotta
I'm
talk
sorry.
about that in a second too, but
He's getting a bottle of this, whether he knows it or not.
yeah, it's good. I'm telling you, even if you want to get them, if you can find the rye,
Mhm.
I wanted to look too because there's different ones of the Powers. I've seen the blue, and it looks like the silver one's more expensive. Okay, so the silver is showing a 12-year, so that makes sense.
Okay.
I would imagine the red's probably 3. Green's probably 3. God, the green doesn't come up till all the way over.
I haven't seen the green one before. Like I said, I always knew Powers as red.
It's ironically the cheapest of the 3. It's coming up online as $35.
Okay.
Well, I guess so is the normal Irish whiskey, depending on where you look. And then the blue, which is probably like a, 7-year, we'll call it. You can pick the age difference, but somewhere in between there.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is. Well, anyway, so I said the word Jack Daniels, and you stopped me in my tracks.
I hate Jack Daniels.
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't know if it's because it's one of the first whiskeys that I ever tried, and I think I had probably a meat hangover or two. And as soon as that had happened, I can't even smell it. It's just,
I think it's why a lot of people think they don't like whiskey.
yeah, it's fair because it's disgusting.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Like it's Jack and Cokes and all. Like people, if you go to any bar, it's like, oh, let me get a shot of whiskey. It's Jack. Like I'm telling you, that's why you think you don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair. What I will say too is my brother and I had driven through Kentucky,
Mhm.
and Jack Daniels is Tennessee, right? We drove to Tennessee also. So that like strip of country there on one of the highways has like the whiskey trail, I think it's called.
Mhm.
And we'll have to fact check that because it's been probably 10 years since I've done this. But
Let me check.
it seemed like every exit you drive by, like if I had more time, I would have stopped. And it's like Maker's Mark's here. Like there's just any place that you could think of that probably has Kentucky whiskey. A lot of
Whiskey Trail.
yeah, the big name brands. Dude, they're all right there.
All right, so here's who's on the Whiskey Trail. They call it trail sites, like you're hiking it, which
It's
is
a highway.
so
You
rich.
just like pull off exit 12, 13, 14.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is.
It would be kind of sick. That's a hike I would
It's
do.
probably an awesome road trip though, but it's far.
That'd be a fun bachelor party.
Yeah. Whiskey Trail.
Yeah. Okay. So who is on it? Where the fuck did that list go? It was on Google. No, this is annoying. Anyway, but the ones I can find before they list the rest of them, notably Glenfiddich, Glen Grant, Glen Levitt. How many distilleries on the Whiskey Trail? Over 30. There's over 30 distilleries. Kentucky. Evan Williams, Angel's Envy, Four Roses, Jim Beam, Woodford Reserve and Versailles, which I don't know what that is. I mean, there's a lot of the heavy hitters. I don't know. Four Roses to me sucks. But that's
Dude,
just
I
me.
like their small batch. I think it's underrated for a cheap bottle. If you're trying to spend $30,
Mhm.
the Four Roses is not good. They're small batch. I've read reviews. It's decent.
Okay.
We'll have to try that one too and see.
Okay. Because I've never had the Four Roses that I've enjoyed.
Really?
No,
You
I
had the
hate it.
small batch.
No.
It's not great. I mean, it's cheap, but I think for the price point, I think it's not too bad.
Dude, I think what's the worst whiskey you've ever had?
Dude, my college years,
Bankers Club?
maybe. I don't even know the names of the brands. If it comes in a plastic bottle,
Bankers Club.
it's a problem.
That was the well at my college bar. But the cool thing about it is they would do it was $1 beers and $2 wells. So you could get a glass of whiskey for $2. But it was paint
At
there.
what cost?
Yeah, I mean, again, people are like, oh, how
I
can you
get it.
like
get it.
that's why they think they hate whiskey because I mean, dude, Bankers Club is I think it's $14 for a handle.
Yep.
It should be illegal.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. Yeah, a lot of gross stuff. It ruins you for a while. I guess like any alcohol though. Like tequila, I thought I hated tequila forever.
I love tequila.
Tequila's awesome.
I do hate gin. I hate gin, and I can take or leave vodka. I'll never do vodka on its own though.
I've had weird bottles of gin. I was in Houston, Texas,
Okay.
visiting Shannon's family a couple of years ago. And her uncle had like Bombay. He's like,
Oh, Bombay Sapphire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, all right, cool.
It's like a Christmas
Everyone's
tree.
had Bombay, right?
Yeah.
And then he pulled out this other one when he was in Arizona. I don't even know the name of it. It was the most like different tasting gin I've ever had. And again, I don't drink much gin, but it was like a whole different flavor profile. I guess needless to say, there's a million different types of different alcohols, right?
Yeah.
If you go Irish whiskey, you can find different stuff. But yeah, it was interesting because again, I don't drink much gin. That's one of the ones I stay away from. Not a big Hennessy cognac.
No shit.
Oh, well, come on. Do you like it?
No. No. I also don't drink it often because anyway.
We'll have to try it because I know a couple of my friends have it. Like Mike Haley will randomly bring a cognac.
Henny?
Not always Hennessy,
Oh.
but like different cognacs.
Yeah, I mean that it's just such like there's a cultural thing with Henny. Where like we have Irish whiskey and like, you just like all the NBA championship parades, like there's guys pulling Henny from the bottle.
Fair enough.
So it's just never.
That wasn't the point I was trying to
No, but I'm saying like when you asked me, like, oh, do you like Henny? I was like, it's not a part of my day to day.
Yeah, but I'm not going to grab a bottle of Hennessy on a Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think what else I really can't stand. What's the hell what's the black licorice? Jaeger. Miss me with Jaeger.
Oh, I could do Jaeger.
I have friends that'll do Jaeger on the rocks.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
I probably haven't had Jaeger in like 5 years.
I'll do it in a bomb. Like if you give me a Jaeger bomb, I'll do it.
I
Or
could do a shot of Jaeger. I wouldn't be happy about it. I would lean behind you and take your Basil Hayden, but
yeah, just
there's no reason to do that.
No.
It's like cruel and unusual punishment. But your friends who put it on the rocks.
Yeah, I've been at bars with friends that kind of get can I get a glass of Jaeger, a double shot of Jaeger on the rocks?
Wow.
And I looked at him, I was like, who hurt you?
Yes,
Like,
that's
you
like cruel.
That's what you're the reason they have the helpline.
Cruel and unusual punishment. It's like it's brutal.
Yeah, it's nasty. That one I used to do all the time, but I have since stopped is you know what I'm thinking. Rumple.
Oh God.
Rumple's an instant blackout.
Jesus. The only time I ever drank that was down at the Jersey Shore.
No, it wasn't. You and
Okay,
I.
okay. There was one night. But,
Yeah.
Trying to think what was in it. It was called Medicine. And
Yeah.
it was like Rumple Mints and like water. It was
Maybe.
the most disgusting thing I think I've ever had. And I can vividly picture whose name I won't say on here. One of our friends that we grew up with loved it. Every time we lived down in Jersey Shore.
Okay.
So we would go down there. He's like, 3 medicines. We're like, what did you just order?
Yeah.
And
One of the first times you and I went out, we were
Rumplemans.
doing Rumple.
well, because you were like the only person I knew at the time
Yeah.
was
That-
aware of what it was.
Yeah. You're
Most people are like, no.
yeah, you're Kyle, who's listening at the moment, found us in a state that we didn't realize we were in.
Yeah, I was at that time.
Yeah, we were having a blast,
Yeah.
and he showed up after work. He's like, "Dude, you guys are fucked up." I was like, "Nah, we're fine."
Yeah. Well, a little background story of that. Brandon became friendly with one of the guys who owns a brewery
Yeah.
in Phoenixville. And he's like, oh, why don't you stop by on a Friday night? I'll give you a tour of the place. We were there for like 2 hours, and he just continuously was feeding us
Pint,
beers.
pint,
Like
pint.
straight out of, I don't even know. What you call it.
Unfermented. It was
Yeah.
like it was just pure alcohol.
Yeah, like you guys have seen those videos. If you're a beer fan like I am, I go down the rabbit hole online of different brewery stuff. And you always see the one guy who like opens the wrong valve and
Mhm.
just the beer goes crazy.
Yeah.
That was like what they were feeding us the beer out of. Was like
Yeah.
one of those contraptions that they brew beer in. But
It was 'cause remember we had one he poured it out and it was still probably a half pint because it was strong. It was like like not fermented yet or in the
Yeah.
process of fermenting. And we both like just slammed it. And he was like, "So you're going to want to take your time?" Okay. You guys aren't going out after this, right? And we were like, "Yeah, we're going to 2 or 3 bars."
that
And
was
he was,
his fault.
yeah, he's like, I wouldn't recommend you doing that. And we're like, "Nah, we're fine." Instant blackout, like the blackest of blackouts.
Well, he also talked about us getting sick too. He's like, he hands it to us, turns his back to us, and he's like, "Yeah, by the way, it's not always like the best thing to drink." And he looks back, and we're like,
It's
"We
empty.
finished it." We're like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, it might upset your stomach." We're like, "Great."
Yeah, that's something you like preface this with, like, "Hey, here's this. If
Yeah.
you don't want to drink it, it's fine. You might get sick." Not, "Oh God, they drank it."
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna give me something in a glass, I'm gonna drink it. It's alcohol abuse otherwise.
Yeah.
If you pour it down the sink, but
Exactly.
yeah, I don't know if I'll ever do that again. We haven't been invited back since.
No. we
Consequently.
haven't, but we might have grabbed like a drink and happy hour there.
Mhm.
Once or twice. I have a nice outdoor patio. Not that it matters since we're watching, but
Yeah, nobody knows where we're talking about because I don't want to dox
Mhm.
myself.
yeah.
Again, we have 3 listeners. I don't
Yeah.
know why I care. All of
Yeah.
which are friends and family. Everybody already knows where I live.
Exactly. They're coming. They're coming.
This has been a revelation.
Yeah, it's been good, right?
Like, thoroughly
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Definitely glad that I know what it is. I for sure had too much, but
yeah.
I'll cross that bridge later.
Well, we'll have to think about getting a rye because I've had Whistle Pig rye. I don't know which one. Recently ish.
I didn't know they had a rye. We've had Whistle Pig's bourbon. I never had their rye.
I did. I was down in I was in St. Pete, Florida, actually, for a work conference. One of the
Okay.
guys I work with down there. I don't get to see him in person too much. He lives down in Virginia.
Mhm.
And we sat down at a bar and he's like, "You want a drink?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll have a drink." "You want a drink?" He's like, "Yeah, do you like whiskey?" I'm like, "Of course."
Yeah.
He definitely drinks more whiskey than I do. So I'm like, "All right, well,
Mhm.
whatever you're getting, I'll try it." And he got the Whistle Pig rye. And I was like, I don't typically reach for a rye, but
Yeah.
that was kind of what opened my eyes. And I'm like, why not? So
Yeah,
that's we're trying.
I would like to try because this is my favorite rye by far, and I haven't had a rye in a little while. So I'm wondering if maybe my palate's changed and I like them now, or if this is just an anomaly. But I mean, the next one we do, if Chris doesn't have one picked out already, it might be a rye.
We could be reading into it too much. Who
That
knows
too.
how strong of a right? It could just be like an Irish whiskey. Like it might not be that big of a difference for us who are
Wait, am I tripping?
not the most experienced whiskey drinkers.
What the fuck was the what was the McKellen?
Scotch.
Scotch, yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick. I forgot.
That was good.
Chris and I have talked about it since.
Yeah.
That was That was life changing. that was one of the scotches that was one of the only scotches I'll probably ever liked.
I think you'd be surprised.
Might
I think
be.
you'd be surprised. I don't think you need to go that high shelf too, but like Glenfiddich.
I never will.
Glenfiddich is scotch, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. But that, and also like, look, some of this was the pageantry of it all. Like, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. If I hated it, I was not going to be the ones where everyone else is like having this transformative experience to go, nah, not a fan.
Yeah,
Like-
that's true, right? You could have lied straight to our faces. That
Yeah.
would have been kind of a dick move.
I didn't. It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
But even if it was putrid, I wasn't going to be the one to ruin the moment,
yeah.
especially for Chris. Because, I mean, he was like a kid on Christmas morning.
It was really cool though, especially for somebody who appreciates it that much. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
See, for me, I'm turning 30 in a couple months. And I was actually talking to somebody recently about this. I'm trying to think of like different 30-year-old like birthday parties because I don't really care about a birthday.
Mhm.
I have a wedding coming on in a couple months anyway, so it's like I don't want to do a big party. I
Yeah.
told a couple people that I'm like, what I think would be cool would be doing like a whiskey tasting because Chris's birthday is 4 days before mine.
Yeah, you guys do pretty much. We celebrate them together usually, too.
Yeah. So if we have like a group of call it like 8 people
Mhm.
come and again we got to be careful about like how much we're trying. We'll be selective about it so it doesn't turn
Yeah.
into a complete shit show. But I thought it'd be cool if we all got anywhere from a $30 to $50 bottle. I don't want to spend a lot, but I also thought it'd be pretty cool.
Kind of like a potluck with whiskeys.
Yeah,
Like
just
everybody
be
like
like-
bring your own.
yeah. Chris takes half with him that he likes. I'll take the other
Yeah.
half as birthday because somebody told me Kyle I was talking. He's like, "Would you want to go to Topgolf?" I'm like, "Not
Yeah.
really. I mean, it's a cool idea, but
You
I'd
hear that,
rather, like,
Kyle?
sample different whiskeys. Chris
Yeah.
has a much better selection and collection than I do.
Yeah.
So, because it's just me, no one comes and visits me because where I live is a little far
Well,
from people.
Chris and I found, let me look. We've done a couple PA whiskeys. I wonder if there's a distillery.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of cool.
that would be cool.
We
We went to one in Pottstown.
a whiskey
When I
distillery?
met, yes, I met Chris there. He just missed us. We ended up going to a brewery afterwards,
Mhm.
but we went there because it was their 10-year whiskey, or
Okay.
I guess anniversary of them being open. They had clear whiskey. Have you ever had clear whiskey before?
No, but Bluebird, who I've talked about on the
Yes.
pod, does it.
Yeah, well, because it's young, right? You got
Yeah.
to age whiskey for a long time.
Mhm.
So I think they have one that's like only aged for, I don't know.
Was it Manitawny Stillworks?
Maybe.
That's Pottstown.
That sounds close.
Okay.
Can I see a picture of what the place looks like? The
Yeah.
outside, at least.
Oh, hold on. I have to find the building picture. Does that look familiar? I'm sorry, this is terrible visual television right now.
No, I know. Yes, that looks familiar. So
Okay.
we went there for their 10-year anniversary, and it was weird because they had clears. They also had aged stuff. So you walk into this place to paint a picture, and it's a smaller place, especially for a distillery. But they had a pretty large section in the back bar with all their barrels set up, and it was a lot of barrels. It was probably like 300 barrels of whiskey. One of the interesting things that I thought about that place was they would blend all their whiskeys. They would take like
Okay.
a year-old whiskey, a 3-year-old whiskey, a 5-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
It's really interesting.
I've never heard of anybody doing that. And
Yeah,
they
the value
couldn't-
would change so drastically.
Well, they can't say it's a 10-year-old whiskey.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're losing a really expensive
I don't know
whiskey.
if they did that just for their anniversary because they had like selective bottles for it.
Okay.
We need to try that out one day again and get a bottle from there. Maybe that could be like a cool.
Yeah, there's actually a ton of whiskey distilleries that offer tours. Now I'm looking. This is near me, so I have to find one more in the
This
middle.
one's small. I don't think they would give you a tour, but at least we could do maybe like an.
These are
in-place-
tours. Like I looked up tour.
Okay. It's
Uh,
a small place. You could bring the setup and you could probably sample a bottle there. Their bottles are affordable.
Yeah, there's one. Where the hell was it? It was shit. It's gonna bug me. It was in Elverson, which isn't. It's about 45 minutes from here. Yeah, we're Vitalist. Someone said we did a birthday party with 15 people here. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
That could be a fun idea. I mean,
Yeah. Well, just different stuff like that too. It doesn't have to be. I don't know. Something like that could be cool. It's also the dead of winter, and it's about to be whiskey season.
Yeah.
By the way, I think about it. So,
I'm right there with you.
Chris, I know you missed it tonight, but don't worry. It's like full blown. We're putting the tequila down and we're breaking out the whiskey.
Yeah, I'm an experiences guy too. Like at this point, like everybody's got enough things. Like
Yeah.
the best birthday present, the best birthday party, would be like experiencing something cool with the people I want to experience it with.
That's all that I care about. Like, I don't need to do top golf, spend a ton of money on stupid golf. Not
Yeah.
stupid golf, but like, you know how those
Yeah.
commercialized places are.
Something unique.
I could sit in a little distillery brewery type place and do some fun, or even doing it like here with a bar. Or just everybody sampling a different whiskey. It just sounded cool.
Yeah,
Especially as you guys are doing this and watching your podcast more. It's like you guys drink a lot more whiskey than I do. I think at this point too, with everything that you've sampled over the last year and a half.
Yeah, and it's for the pod. I mean, I wouldn't buy this stuff otherwise.
Understandably,
To this degree.
but I'm still jealous. And I'm like, okay, I'm missing out. Like, would you guys have the Mexican?
Yeah, that was last week. The last time we had it.
It was right after we got back from the cruise, right?
Yeah, it was the last time we had it here, so it would have been a month ago. Yeah, that's kind of the point we've gotten to because we know what we like and don't like, and then now it's kind of just come down to like trying to think outside the box and find stuff unique. So like we've done Japanese, we've done French, we've done
Japanese. French. What was that like?
Shit.
Not good.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
One of our least favorites.
So what did the French do well? Champagne?
French, yeah, I mean the French don't do shit well.
Food well. They do food really well.
They do.
But
their champagne, I guess, is good. French wines, I think, is pretty good.
yeah, French wine's true.
But yeah, their whiskey was brutal. We've
Yeah,
done kosher wine, like Jewish wine, which is pretty neat, not good. So now we're just trying to find like unique stuff. I still have the Mexican wine in there if you want to try it. I'm probably not going to drink it again.
The Mexican whiskey.
Mexican whiskey, yeah, it wasn't great.
Well,
it wasn't bad. It wasn't strong enough. It tasted like tequila, to be honest.
Well, that's what you guys said too. Because
Yeah.
I watched that live and I was shocked because we just had got back from the
Yeah.
cruise and we were drinking a lot of
A
tequila.
lot of tequila.
And Chris, who doesn't drink tequila, was like, "I feel like this is," and there's no agave in it, right? So it has nothing to do with tequila.
I think there was agave in it. I could be wrong, or it might be like agave plant or something. It did taste a lot like tequila.
Okay.
I love a good tequila.
No, I do too.
One of my favorites is Espolón.
Yeah, Espolón's good. It's affordable and it's like, I don't know.
Goes down like water. Which
Casamigos, I don't love.
no,
It's like, yeah, it's not great, but I don't know. Tequila's good.
yeah. So we'll noodle some more on that that birthday idea because I think that could be pretty sick. To do something at a distillery. Like it's your birthday, we're gonna do what you want to do. That would be a lot. That to me, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be a lot more fun, right? If we're gonna do something together, we're gonna be inside most likely. Like that could be different.
Yeah, just sit in the like dark distillery room, get some barrels going, and have somebody who knows what they're talking about. Be like, oh, if you like this, try this and try that.
I
Like,
think that'd be awesome. That's right up my alley. I think I would enjoy that more than going bowling.
well, yeah, dude, bowling would be brutal.
Yeah.
So all right, we'll plan on that, but we're at 37 minutes here. Jeff and I both changed from work to come do this podcast, so we're both ready to wrap it up for the day. But thanks everybody for listening. 2 weeks, we'll hopefully be back with Chris, and maybe we'll see Jeff a little bit more often. But for the time being, I'm Brandon. That's Jeff. We're half of the Whiskey Gingers, and we'll see you next time.
Damn it, Jeff.
Damn it, Jeff.
Somebody had to say.